we are going again. Welcome for the second time today to Woman on a Mission Live, and today I'm being joined by fresh Nesh. Now, if you joined us a little minute ago, you'll know that we had a little problem with sound, and I'm really hoping that Nesh is going to join us very soon. And yeah, let's just keep our fingers crossed. She's going to be joining us any minute now. Now, if you've not met Nesh before, you're in for such a treat. Hello.
Hear me. Is that any better?
Not really, but I think we'll just go with it. If everyone else can hear us.
Yeah. I mean, I just checked that I'd updated my app, and then I did the wide spectrum, whatever microphone setting is that you can do. So, yeah, I mean, I will speak.
Technology. It's amazing when it works, isn't it? And if I'm shouting, I'm really sorry. Just do that.
Oh, Claire.
So how are you? It has been, I was just saying actually that anyone that's joining us is in for a real treat today, because I first chatted with you. Oh my God, I've been talking to you forever. But you first very kindly joined me on a live 2 years ago, or is it longer than that?
Oh, gosh, maybe. Yeah, I can't even remember. Had I just started my course?
No,
I hadn't even done it. So, yeah, I mean, gosh, a long while ago. Yeah, so it's almost 2 years since I started my course. So yeah, it might have been just before I think I started it.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh gosh.
So for everyone joining us, please get comfy. Let me know if I'm shouting.
You sound fine.
And Nesh, would you just give everyone a little bit of an introduction as to who you are, what you do, and maybe give us a real fun fact about your morning? How about that? Let's go.
Okay, cool. So I'm Nesh. I am a model, which you might have seen me on Lorraine. So I've been modeling for over 20 years. I'm a size 16 model, so I like to represent us ladies in all forms and shapes and sizes. So it's been a real journey for me of building kind of like self-belief, self-confidence, and yeah, self-love, I think, on that entire journey, because modeling was never anything I ever dreamt of, and it kind of happened not by accident, but my mum kind of encouraged me to send photos to an agency after I graduated from university doing a performing arts degree, and I started modeling, and the kind of rest is history. And I've had a really wonderful career and made lots of great friends. I've loved what I do. I love fashion, so it made sense. I grew up with a dad who was in the rag trade, so he used to make lady suits and jackets. So I was very much surrounded by fashion, and it just all fell into place. So I let the universe lead. But throughout all of that journey, I've always had a deep passion and desire to fulfill a journey in well-being, and yeah, just like looking after ourselves, feeling good. What can we do to feel good and be our best versions of ourselves? And so 2 years ago, almost in September 20, hang on, where are we? 24, 22. I decided to enroll myself at the new School of Nutritional Medicine, where I am soon to be qualified as a nutritional therapist as well as a coach. So not just in nutrition, but also life health coaching. And I can treat with acute homeopathy as well. So that is me in a nutshell. I'm also a mum of two boys, 14 and 12. So life is busy.
I was going to say, you are a real woman on a mission. I think that's how we connected in the first place. We were just like, chat about lifestyle and health and wellness and nutrition and all of that. And it's just like, my goodness, when I last spoke to you, like on a live, we were all blown away by what you do. But now it's just like, okay, I'm sure everyone's going to be like, how does she fit that in? So what's been the biggest challenge from going from what you were doing before to adding in a course amongst everything else as well? Because it's a big course with a lot of content.
Yes, it's a very intense 2-year course. It really should be 3 years. Um, not saying that you can't manage it, but you are learning so much information. And I think for me, the timing was right because my youngest had just started secondary school, and I felt like I had the headspace. I felt ready for it mentally and emotionally. But I knew that I would have to really dedicate that time. And so, as a people pleaser, that was a very difficult thing to kind of do, because I love giving my time to family and friends and being available for everybody. But I realized that I wasn't feeling fulfilled, and it was time to make that change and actually believe in myself that I could go back into education. And I think 20 years as a model, you come with that stereotype of you don't really say much, you haven't got a real proper job. Um, and I
Not
felt a little,
you.
I know, but those are comments that I have received, and so it starts to chip away at your confidence and your belief and your capability. So I thought, am I going to be able to cope with learning? But the desire and the passion to want to learn was so strong that I had to just go for it, and I was like, I will work it out. So it's really kind of similar to what you talk about with the habit stacking
Yeah.
and creating those. So I have a lot of books that I've had to read, so creating little habits, like, say, I'm going to read 10 to 20 pages a day, I'm going to get through it. That works for me. I'm not a fast reader, it takes me forever, but these little bite-sized habits have made it possible. And then you've got all the assignments, which are very intense, and when you're working, you're trying to juggle it all and family life. So what I did was I broke it, my assignments, I break it down into like a schedule of, this day I was going to answer this question, and I was going to write 100 words on this day, and breaking everything down into small bite-sized manageable pieces, but making sure I'd given myself enough time to work at a pace that was realistic for me, that wasn't going to overwhelm me. And that's really how I've got through it. But again, it's because I genuinely love and feel so passionate about the subject that I've managed to juggle it all. And it's a whole journey for the entire family, because it's what I'm just living and breathing. So I'm passing on that education to them and hoping, they will take on what they can from it, and take that into their adulthood as well, like the boys making those better decisions for themselves. So yeah, it has been a journey. And actually, on some of the assignments, I've like had to really dedicate my time. And then we have student clinic, which is on a Saturday, so I'm losing weekends as well. And sometimes the boys are like, oh, we haven't even seen you this weekend, and I'm like, I know, but I have to dedicate this time. And I think it's a really good learn for them to see us channeling our energy into something positive, and also to say to them, you don't need to have it all worked out right now while you're at school picking your options for GCSE. Or
Everyone else in there nodding their time. I'm like, oh my god, this is so brilliant for your kids to learn this.
and to say, I'm dedicating my time to this because it's worth it. And so for my son, who's in year 10, and he'll be taking his GCSEs next year, they have regular assessments to see that you do have to put in the time and effort to get the results. And it does come with um what's the word I want, it's gone out of my head, a compromise. You have to compromise on certain aspects, and you know you can't always have that time to go out and do the other things. You have to dedicate that time and prioritize. But then it's important that we also have moments of joy and fun and enjoy life as well. So yeah, it's been a real journey, but I feel like I've managed it. There have been moments of real stress, but because that's the perfectionist in me, and I just want to do my absolute best, and I doubt myself a lot, and then I'm always pleasantly surprised. So that's something I've got to work on, just to manage myself, just to go, come on, take a breath, journal it out. Let's get to the bottom of what's causing all of this angst and stress and self-doubt.
absolutely. And I don't think there's anyone in this world who is alone in having moments of feeling like that. I completely resonate with what you're saying. I started my personal training course, my personal training lifestyle coaching course, the first day that my son started his first day at primary school. So we were just like, we've got new notepads, we've got new pencil cases, and like you, I was, how on earth am I going to do that? But actually, this was the time that I really needed to go and do something for me and to learn and not stop learning since. I really enjoyed that kind of period of my life. But equally, as much as I was very much, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm, pulling away from the family. Every 3 weeks, I had to travel from Devon up to Bristol the whole weekend to learn and take exams. So Monday was like the practical learning, study in the classroom, and then the Sunday was all day exams. It was a lot. When I look back, I'm like, what? But actually, it was really good for my family to see that that's okay. It's okay to kind of do something for you, to learn, to bring stuff back. And actually, they are incredibly sporty kids. So I feel like a little bit is rubbed off on them. But it's also really, really good to show them, like on my post today, it's about it's never too old to follow your dreams and to do something that you're really, really passionate about. And I'm kind of on the other end of the kind of the education process. I've got one in second year of uni and one taking A levels this summer.
Right.
Not stressful at all.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And we've said to them all along, just because you make that decision right now about how you think your life is going to progress on this kind of whole career path, there is nothing wrong in taking a 3-point turn and saying, actually, I don't think I want to go down that path anymore. I want to kind of go down this path now. I think that's just brilliant. So what you're doing is really empowering for you, but also showing your family and your friends as well that it's never too late to want to explore something new.
Yeah, and I think life is too short not to give yourself that opportunity. And I think there's so many things like, I'd like to go and retrain in that now. I've kind of got the bug for learning, and I think you constantly always got to be open to learning, haven't you? Because there's so much out there that we can take in, and it's just, I love enriching my life as much as I can. And so I think it's so important for children and teenagers at that point, in their school years, to realize it's okay, it's all going to be okay. Because I think there's a lot of pressure on them, and I think it's important that we kind of reiterate and emphasize that to them, that it's okay, you can change your mind.
And actually being, it's one thing when I talk to our kids about is it's actually takes a really brave person to start a course or to go off to uni or to go and start an apprenticeship or to go down one path and then make that decision to change. The hardest thing is to do that potentially, but equally it's very difficult to stay in something that you're not entirely really happy with. So adding something more, another string to your bow. So how will your fashion and what you do with Lorraine, and which I love watching on there, how is that going to fit in with your nutrition?
So I feel like
do you have like a work-life balance between
vegetable
and Nesh nutritionist?
Definitely. I feel like they work quite well together. There will be some things that I feel are a little bit tricky, and if we're kind of talking about like the beauty route and all the things that I'm learning about beauty products, and it's quite a compromise in what I'm learning, so I feel a little bit apprehensive about maybe putting myself forward for jobs like that if it's a product that maybe I probably wouldn't use. But as a model, it's very different. It's not like on here and you're sharing products you love or whatever. When you're modeling, you're like blank, you're not, that's not you and your opinion. But I feel very differently now as having done this course, so I will definitely be more selective about the jobs that I and put forward for or sort of take on. But fashion, definitely, there's always going to be a place for fashion in my life, because it's huge. It's been a huge part of my life, and I love I love how clothes and style can really elevate your mood, and it's a form of self-care at the end of the day. And there's days, weeks where I've been studying and I'm just in my tracksuit and not bothered with my hair, and I start to feel a bit, that feeling of. So I think, right, come on, get in the shower, freshen up, put something on. It doesn't matter if you're not going out, and lift your mood. And honestly, it makes such a difference. So I really still want that in my life, and I love what I do. It's such a wonderful thing to do. And you can go to some great places, meet wonderful people, and I love modeling, so I will still do it. The beauty of doing the nutrition is that I am in control of my schedule.
Yeah.
So I will have set days where I see clients, and I will then, and I will make that work with the jobs that sort of come in. So yeah, you'll still see me on Lorraine as long as they'll have me. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep going. I'm in tomorrow actually. Not sure I'm not sure what we're doing, but yeah, I mean, I've been there since I started modeling, so over 20 years. So yeah, that will still work. And my sort of vision for my nutrition moving forward is I'd love to sort of offer packages where I do online stuff, courses, and I think it will work really well around, jobs that sort of possibly come in as a model. So yeah, I feel like there's a real flexibility there, and that's what works for me, and why, I love the modeling, because you don't know what's coming from week to week. It's so, I could be out not working for a few weeks, and then suddenly I'll get 5 jobs in 1 week. It's just, you can't predict ever. And I think I love that sense of spontaneity in life. And with the nutrition, I think I can kind of have a bit more of a schedule, but at the end of the day, that all depends on how many people you draw in to sort of, come and see you as a therapist. So yeah, I feel it works.
Crossover, actually,
yeah,
because we are rapidly becoming more and more, thank goodness, aware of the climate and our environment and sustainable living, and even more so, I think, about what we're putting onto our bodies, into our bodies. So I can see you having a feature, actually, talking about the nutrition together with the beauty industry and the fashion industry.
that's the dream, right? Fingers crossed.
I hope they're watching. I think we should put that in a little message with them.
You
Because
put it out to the universe.
It's all about looking good and feeling good. But if we're doing things in order to make ourselves feel better, but it's damaging, the environment or other people working in factories and everything else, then that's no good either. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like
that little nugget for you.
Yeah,
I think there's a future there.
yeah, definitely. Let's keep putting it out there, everyone. And I love that you're going into the sort of the styling with the course you're sort of taking on now, the personal styling.
Yeah, so I have been invited. I should be knocking on your door for all sorts of ideas, but I've been invited to do a course with Melissa Morale, personal styling, and I'm super excited about it. I've started my first chapter. There are 8 chapters in all, and it looks at it's an online course, and so you can pick it up and do it when you need to. But it's, like I say, 8 chapters, all about body confidence and body style, but styling for the everyday woman wearing everyday clothes. So it's not, wearing everything that you would wear, on that big night out necessarily, but it's everyday styling, which is brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. And I'm 5'2", so I'm a real little short person, as my family remind me very regularly. So I find it really tricky to find clothes that not only fit from a length point of view, but from a waist height leg ratio, I've got very short legs. So I'm really looking forward to finding out, so much more about that. And like what you were saying about, confidence and body shape, and, how we change our thoughts and feelings about what we look like and, what we're wearing as we get older as well. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And she covers all bases. I've been, like I said, done my introduction chapters already, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting into the nitty gritty. So I've kind of blocked out some time at the weekend to make a move on that. But body confidence, body styling, and it's going to be good. So watch this space. I'll be sharing some little nuggets as I go on.
Look forward to hearing more.
It's going to be super. So tell us a little bit about how we talked a little bit about how you've managed your work-life balance. How has kind of the nutrition side of things kind of gone into your, because you've got your Instagram, is it freshness you're cooking?
So Cook Fresh with Nesh. Yeah.
So how has that have you kind of started really altering your shopping, your food shopping and that kind of thing as the course has gone on?
I mean, there are things that I have definitely sort of changed and have evolved, but I feel like the beautiful thing about this course was it reinforced what I already thought. And I just needed that sort of seal of approval almost, that actually I was on the right track. One thing I would say that I've massively changed is that I was more predominantly not vegan, but more kind of leaning to sort of a vegetarian diet. But since learning more and more about the science behind everything and how the body functions, I've upped my meat intake. And so that has been a huge change, because the benefits of eating meat, good quality, welfare, meat, organic, you just can't really replicate that through a vegetarian or vegan diet as such, because there's just the minerals that you receive of your beef, it's just impossible. And I used to think that I couldn't digest it well, but actually what it was, that my stomach acid was low, which we start to lose stomach acid as we age, so it reduces, and stress can also reduce our stomach acid, and without stomach acid we're not going to digest and break down our food as well. So that's what was really kind of happening. So I've been working on supporting my stomach acid and increasing my protein, making sure I've upped my egg intake, like in the morning, just really focusing on that extra protein, and it's made a huge difference. And then the biggest thing was that we all gave up gluten last year, because we did some DNA testing, which I've got a practitioner account, so like they're the sort of test that I can offer, should you want to sort of see me as a practitioner. So we can do DNA health or kind of gut intestinal tests. And from that, the beautiful thing about the DNA health test is that it's like a blueprint to your body. You do the test once, it's your DNA, it's not going to change. And so from that you can really design a lifestyle that's really personalized to you and your body, and we're all completely individual, and all of us had DNA that indicates towards gluten intolerance at a very high level. So it just made sense for us all just to give it up. And also lactose was one for me, although my husband was like completely fine, so he can still sort of have dairy, and the boys, they can have a bit, so they're not too high, but mine was like really a high sort of priority. So I used to feel like every Easter I'd give up wheat. I'd say I'm giving up wheat for Lent, sort of, and I'd always feel amazing, and I didn't necessarily have like an allergy to it, but I had symptoms of brain fog, feeling lethargic, bloaty sort of feelings. I quite often by the end of the night would look pregnant, and I wouldn't have overeaten or anything. And we've always had sourdough, so it wasn't like I was eating sort of
Yeah.
cheap bread or whatever processed bread from the supermarket. So I never really felt, I was like, oh, it's quite, it's good, it's beneficial if you've got no intolerance. Then, fermented sourdough bread is amazing, and has less issues with gluten. And but gave it up, and honestly, I felt like a different person. So it's been a real journey, and the fact that the whole family have been able to come on the journey with me has been brilliant. And the biggest change at home has been my husband. He's made the biggest changes because he works in the city, and so it's very much a social, drinking after work, going for meals with clients. He doesn't like leave the desk because it's just the nature of the job. But he has made the biggest changes, and he's also given up like caffeine, gluten, alcohol. He's just
Huge
transformed.
changes.
Huge. And I really, he's just a guy who he has so much focus. Like if he sets his mind to something, he can achieve it. But I think for him, he felt the benefits, and so that has driven him on. So he's a real good advert for me when he goes to work and he's sharing all his knowledge. I'm like hoping, but he has really taken everything on board, and I think that makes a huge difference
Yeah,
at
definitely.
home. If one of you isn't completely on board, it can be quite tricky,
Yeah.
I think. So I feel like lifestyle changes work so much better as a community.
You're absolutely right. You really are. Absolutely. Yeah. So with the DNA testing, that's something that you're going to be offering to your clients when you've finished your course. And is that from like a saliva, or is it like a blood test?
Blood. So yeah, it's a blood test. So I can actually offer that now as a student practitioner. I just, if for any tests, so I have like an insurance, so I'm encouraged to see people now. I have a supervisor. So in some ways you've kind of got an even better deal because you've got two sets of eyes on the case. Yeah, exactly. So yes, the DNA is really simple. The kit gets sent to your house. It's a little pimp, prick on the finger
Yeah.
to get the blood. Yeah, like you would do on a, blood sugar
Yeah.
glucose monitor thing. And you just drip the blood onto a little card, and let it dry for like 4 hours, and then you arrange for DHL to come and pick it up. And then it goes off and it's analysed, and you kind of get your results up to about 3 weeks, maybe quicker, sometimes quicker. And then you've got this amazing printout, which is very comprehensive and quite easy to read, although you do need the knowledge of a practitioner to sort of help
Dissect it all
kind
for
of
you.
got and I'd put together a program that kind of incorporates all the things that are sort of a priority on there. But I just think it's so amazing because it works on prevention rather than cure, and I think that is the key thing.
Don't we need that in this
Yeah,
country for sure? I won't go down the
massively.
NHS route. Having worked in the NHS for a long time, that is what we've been saying all this
Yeah,
time, is that if we can, sort out people's, health and well-being and physical, mental, emotional health,
yeah.
nutrition has a huge part of that. So this finger prick test, my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
who
it's
would
so
want to know?
amazing. It's individual, like it's all about bio individuality, and I think that's the key thing to remember. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Rangan Chatterjee,
Yeah.
and I literally he's like the godfather to me.
Yes.
And I feel like he's really, for me, has been a huge part of my journey because I remember when he very first started his podcasts, I think 3, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, if not longer, probably not, I don't even know. But anyway, I listened to his very first one and I religiously listened to them. And I just think there's so much knowledge in them. So if you're sort of interested in well-being and just kind of maybe wanting to make some small changes, then listening to great podcasts to sort of help um, enrich your knowledge in a simple way is really great. And it's a great way to habit stack. If you're doing the cleaning or cooking, put on a podcast where you're being educated.
Without doubt, I do a lot of driving as well. So rather than just kind of like listening to the radio, then the podcast goes in. But I know people say to me, "How do you listen in on lives, or how do you listen to where do you get your kind of your knowledge from?" And it's like I would love the opportunity to sit down and read, book after book after book. I don't get that. I maybe need to do what you do and say, right, I'm going to do 10 minutes. I was writing a little mission for a couple of weeks' time actually, is read 10 or 20 pages a night. But yeah, listening for me works really well, especially when I'm out in the garden. I love gardening, but listening to a podcast at the same time, or like you say, decorating, painting, cleaning, all of
Washing
those things. Why not multitask?
really tedious jobs that have to be done, but and it's like I've got to wash up. The washing up has to get done, so I'm going to make this time count. So I'll always have a podcast playing, and then the whole family are kind of listening in, and they'll pick up little bits, little gems, little nuggets of wisdom. I just think it's brilliant.
I love how
It's
you
just
can rewind. If you miss something, like what
yeah,
your mind disappears, or someone interrupts you, you can just rewind it back like
I
10 or
love
20
that.
seconds, and then you're straight back into the conversation.
Exactly. I had that moment actually today. I went for a walk this morning to my local shops. I needed to get some bits for dinner, and I had a podcast playing, and it was really a really great one. It was talking about thyroid, and I was like, oh God, I need to get home and re-listen to that and take notes, because it was such good information. So, and I love the fact that you can do that, and you can just get so much from them. It's brilliant.
Absolutely. I need to talk to you about this DNA test. It sounds fantastic. So I've got a couple more things I wanted to ask you. What do you do to relax? What do you do at the end of the day, or maybe the beginning of the day, or at any point of your week, just to get some time for you when you're not mum and busy model and student and all round woman on a mission? What do you do just to have a little bit of time for you?
I love doing some yoga. I find that I can, if the more I kind of practice and get myself on the mat, I definitely feel the benefits. Um, I love having a bath. I love a bath. I know not everybody loves a bath, but for me, a magnesium salt bath.
Yes.
And I've got one of those, like, sort of, they look like birthday cake candles, but they're quite long. So about 30 minutes. They're beeswax candles, and it's about 30
Lovely.
minutes. So I'll kind of put that on. I've got my little bath boy, thing on the bath, and I'll sit. And sometimes I'll do that in the day if I've got that time, just to if I could get really stressed, I feel like getting in the water really calms me down. So I'll sit in the bath and do that, or sometimes I just go and have a nap. I'm having a 15-minute nap. I did it yesterday. I felt the boys, it was 4 o'clock, and the boys were sort of on their way home, and I thought, oh, I just need 15 minutes just to, and I've got a weighted blanket,
Oh,
and I laid down and I set my timer, and I was that reset me, and I'm ready to go by the time they've come home, and dinner, and to be present, to be able to listen to them and take in what they're saying. So yeah, a cheeky little nap. I shouldn't say cheeky, because it's essential to sort of replenishing, and I'll make sure if I can book in a little massage or a facial. I love going for my face yoga. I don't do it often enough. It's like every 3-4 months, but um, a few years ago, I had a wonderful lady who was literally down the road from me, 2-minute walk. I'd book in every 6 weeks for a massage. She's left now, so I've kind of lost that habit, but
rude.
I was like I cried when she said she was leaving. I mean, I've been seeing her for over 15 years, so we'd built a special bond. And I was like, what do you mean you're leaving? You can't go. But it's like little things like that, or just washing your hair. If you're feeling like you haven't had time to wash your hair and freshen up, even that, makes a difference for me. And then the other thing is getting outside in nature.
Yeah, I was going to
You don't
say,
realize the power of a walk, 10 minutes to just reset your mind and your body and your nervous system.
definitely. I love to start my day getting up. I mean, my husband says to to me this morning, why do you get up when it is so dark and so wet? My kids swim, so I'm used to getting up early anyway. But even on the days that they don't swim, I'm up because A, it's habit, and B, I'm a much nicer person when I have had that power of an hour, which can be anything, as you know. But for me, it's getting outside and that. I mean, it has been. My walking boots are still drying from yesterday. But yeah, it's been very wet and very soggy. But even on those days, I love it because it's almost like a natural exfoliation for the face. I meet incredibly my best friend, and we walk and we stomp the lanes. They're up and they're down and they're all over the place. But it is such a tonic getting outside, and I come back and I already feel like I've achieved so much in the day, and it's only 7:30.
That's incredible. What time do you get up?
On a swimming day at 4:20.
Oh wow!
And on a non-swimming day, about 5:45. But there are more swimming days than non-swimming days, so my body clock is kind of 4:20. So.
That is dedication as a parent as well, you know. That is. So do you have to go? You go to bed early?
Yeah, I tend to. Well, actually, I'm a bit naughty. Former career nursing, so I was kind of instilled very early in my younger years into doing night shifts and day shifts and late shifts. So my body clock was always kind of all over the place. And I was asked a question yesterday, actually, are you a night owl or you're a morning person? I'm a bit both. And my habit is I need to make sure that I get my solid 7 hours in. And I don't always do that. When I'm busy or when I'm writing, I tend to kind of work better when it's really, really quiet in the house. And that can be late at night, it can be early in the morning. So my habits, like, it needs to be making sure I get some good sleep. But yeah, generally I try and we're quite a quiet house after kind of 9:30.
Yeah, you need to be. My husband gets up at 4:45 every day for work, and so it's the biggest thing is getting to bed early, and it's so tricky, especially when life's busy and you've got kids and they, do activities. It can often you feel like you wanna kind of have that time to yourself, so you then delay going to bed, but actually it's not always the best option because then you're not your best self the next day. So yeah, that's a tricky one, and it's something I'm always working on is trying to get to bed early.
I've had to learn, and I don't do it all the time, but I have to learn to kind of, like, those jobs will still be there in the morning, but I do like to come down to nice clean tidy kitchen.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I often find myself then unloading the tumble dry thing, and I haven't done that yet. I must get that done. I'll just clear the draining board. Make sure there's stuff, everything's gone from the sink. Yeah, I'm very much. I like everything to be reset, and I'm like that when I go away on holiday as well. I'm a nightmare. I'm like running around.
I'm like, I change the sheets, I clean the whole house. And my husband's like, why do you make, like, if burglars come, they'll be like, this is great, nice tidy house. But I'd like to be able to come back because, within half an hour it will be Washington City, won't it?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. But one of my habits stacking, one of my habit stacks I was going to share with you. So people that don't know what I'm talking about, my mission for this week is to introduce habit stacking into your life. Now, quite often we do this without even realising we're doing it. Because when I was talking about the other day, I was like, actually, we do this a lot. We don't even realise we're doing it. We put the keys in a certain place every night, necessarily. Not everyone, but most people have.
Husband doesn't. It drives me mad.
So they know where to find them in the morning. But for me, a big thing that's really helped me, especially these early mornings, is I get my gym kit out the night before. And that is a game changer, because if I decide not to go, it's there just looking at me and going, well, you had good intentions, but you didn't follow that through. Why was that? But it means that not only does it not disturb the whole house, but it's there and it's ready to go. And the same with my collagen sachet, the same with my water bottle. If I have them already organised, which is probably one of the things that delays me from going to bed quite as early, but it's there. It's very good to go. So I'd love you to share with us one of your kind of habits. You touched on a few of them, but what's your absolute game changer that is such a habit now you don't even think about it?
Hot water and lemon in the morning with some Celtic salt. I have been doing it for, not the Celtic salt, that's been a new thing since I started my course. But hot water and lemon I've been doing since I was 19. And it was my granddad and my mum that kind of encouraged it. And yeah, before, like literally, soon I cannot have anything, I cannot start the day without it. I just don't feel right. So on holiday, my friend bought me a little wooden, beautiful, like lemon juicer that I take with me everywhere. Because obviously, when I used to work away a lot when I was modeling, I'd always take lemons, a lemon juicer, and a cup, like a plastic cup or whatever I could take, a stainless steel one, and a straw. Always have it through a straw because the acid will, yeah, sort of eat away at the enamel. But yeah, that's I don't even think it's just I can't start the day without it. So I'll come down straight away, have my, it's this size glass, about 500 mils in that glass, and I'll have have that before I do anything, eat. And actually, while we were in Centre Parks last week, we were away for the week for half term with 3 other families. It was wonderful. I woke up naturally at 6:30 every morning. It was amazing. I felt so refreshed, and I'd go outside with my hot water and lemon, barefoot on the grass, and just drink my hot water and lemon and take in the sounds of nature. It was just so beautiful. And I think, hasn't got the same vibe back in London in my very noisy London back garden. But yeah, I mean, always hot water and lemon, and that's it. And then the collagen I have a decaf coffee now, and I always put my collagen in, and I have mushroom extract. So I always, some cordyceps and reishi mushroom, and I put that in, or shiitake, depends what I'm feeling I'm needing at that time. So that has been a new habit stacking. I've done that now for the last 2 years. So that's like my morning routine, as well as after brushing my teeth in the morning, I gua sha the and I do that. I'm like 5 minutes after brushing my teeth. That's part of the routine to kind of to do that.
So incredible all the time.
Yeah, so 5 minutes, I do it a lot. It's funny you say that you do those little things a lot. So not in the evening, because I really have found the benefits of journaling so powerful. And I had to give a seminar presentation on my coaching side of my course on positive psychology, and the power of journaling is quite incredible. So I've got an LED face mask that I've had for a few years that my husband bought me for my birthday, and it's brilliant. So you kind of really need to see the benefits. You need to use it 5-6 days a week. So in the evening, it's just 10 minutes. So I sit with it on in bed before I go to bed, and I'll journal. And that's like, it has kind of made sure I've done it. And I can't tell you how it's really transformed my sense of gratitude, the more positive outlook, because I felt like last year after the summer I went for a real wobble, and I couldn't, I don't know if it was maybe the sort of lack of daylight maybe we're starting to lose, or saying goodbye, I don't know. I just really had a real struggle, and I started to journal, and within sort of a month, if not more, I started just to feel lifted.
Just 5 minutes a day, as you say, just makes such a difference.
Yeah. And you don't have to like write loads of, just a few little things, like 3 little things that you're grateful for, and I kind of 3 things I'm going to prioritize, and then a little bit of how I'm feeling if I want to just unload and just get it out. It's made such a difference. So they're like my main habit stacking. Yeah, real, that make such a difference.
Definitely. I talk quite a lot about just 3 things for journaling. So, whether it can be, at the end of the week or every day or what have you, but the 3 things would be, what is your win? So what went really, really well this week or this day or this hour? and embrace that, because we are so good, aren't we, at kind of, this day wasn't great, that didn't go well. We're very good at self-critique and kind of the negative thoughts that kind of go around. But let's celebrate the wins. What went really well today? What are you proud of? Let's do that. Give yourself a sticker. That kind of thing. What went really, really well today? What didn't go so well today? So let's talk about that. And I've done it with my kids since they were tiny. And that's also really good as well, because it's like, let's have that conversation. We don't have to kind of hide the conversation that this didn't go well today, or I wasn't prepared for this because of whatever reason, or I didn't get my jacket on because I didn't put it out right, whatever. What didn't go so well today? And then when you marry those two things up, what were the lessons? And for me, that has been really, really powerful. And I like to think it's been quite helpful for the kids as well. But
I bet it has.
But I used to talk to my coaching clients about it all the time. What went well? What can we celebrate? Because even in those darkest days, the things that went well, maybe we're here and we're breathing and we're having this conversation. That is so valuable. What did go so well? Let's talk about that, and then what can we learn from both those two things?
Absolutely.
So journaling, like you say, it doesn't have to be sitting down writing a thesis on what happened today, but just those three things. Even if you just check it and stick it in your notes or in a lovely, beautiful journal, or whatever works for you, it's really good.
Yeah. And I love that, actually. That was one of the things that kind of, with the positive psychology, where we, it's really important to also acknowledge the sort of negatives, because it's like you need the balance, the ratio has to work, but you kind of focus more on the positives, but also acknowledge the negatives, because that then gives you a sense of where you were to where you want to go. And you don't want to invalidate those things. Like on the other day, I felt really low and tired. I think I was just drained from the busyness of like being in centre parks with everybody, and it's been a really hectic weekend, and I felt really just drained and down and rubbish. And I thought, oh, come on, Nesh, you've got so much to be positive for. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to allow myself to sit with that feeling, because we sometimes feel like we've got to be positive all the time, and it's like, oh no, life's great. But actually, it's okay as well to say, I feel really rubbish today, and I'm actually just going to sit with that feeling today. And I know tomorrow will be a new day. And so I kind of gave myself permission just to feel like that. And then the next day, I was up and felt great.
Win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So good. It's when people come along and they go, cheer up, love, might never happen. And you're like,
yeah.
There's a lot going on in the world right now, and actually that's not very helpful, but thanks anyway.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh my goodness. It has been an absolute joy as ever chatting to you. It really, really has. I think I'm going to get face soreness from just smiling the whole time. If anyone, I'm just going to check to make sure anyone's got any questions or anything. No questions come through. But we have, I think, answered everyone's. Oh, one last one before we go.
Yes.
We've literally got 2 minutes before I think Instagram will cut us off. You told us who inspires you and who you love listening to. Who as a family, do you have like a collective person that kind of inspires you, that you're, God, that's the person that we want to listen to, or when we're driving along in the car or what have you, or do you all have like different people that kind of inspire you? That you're like, right, we need to catch up with that person or that podcast.
Well, I mean, I feel like Morgan Chatterjee is like my go-to. I really feel like he captures it really beautifully. But no, I mean, I think there's so many people to be inspired by, that I think I can't really think other than him. I mean, I love listening to Dr. Mark Hyman. He's really great. But I think really my go-to is Dr. Morgan Chatterjee. I always feel like I sound like his super fan. I now see his dentist. Which I was by chance found out he's like I'm seeing Dr. Morgan Chatterjee's dentist. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
We sat on
But
the couch with Lorraine having a chat about how you can do sustainable living with your fashion and the beauty, and here we are giving us two pennies worth as well. I can feel it.
oh, totally, you know. But I think I feel inspired by so many people, and I just think I take inspiration from people's stories and people's survival and what they do, people, the way people juggle life. I just think there's so much inspiration out there by so many people that, you know, you can take a little snippet from everyone and think, I like that. I like what they're doing. You know, I've got some friends who I think are super inspiring and always make me raise my game. Um, you know, like my teachers that I'm learning with, that's, you know, some of them I find super inspiring. So I'll always try and, you know, take a little bit of their magic. If I, you know, I just think there's so much out there. If you open your eyes, you'll see like little snippets of gold
It's
in everyone.
exciting, right?
Yeah.
It's super exciting. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff out there that can make us feel pretty miserable about stuff. But actually, when we look up, you know, it's very easy to kind of keep looking down, isn't it? But when we look up, we take in, you know, the nature and all of those good things that are happening, then you can't help but be inspired, really. And it's conversations like this. This is why I want to bring Women on a Mission lives back, is to introduce people to the people behind the squares, which I think is really, really important. We're all really nosy and we like to know those little bits, but also it's encouraging connection and conversation and yeah, continuing this kind of, you know, exchange of information as well. I've learned so much today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Always, always. I'm so. Let's not leave it 2 years next time.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
more than that for sure. It was definitely before your course.
It's
But
a
yeah, thank
very
you so,
long time.
so much. I will
Thank
save
you.
this. Thank you for
Yes.
appreciating and understanding the sound
Oh
issues.
gosh. No, it's always hard, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, you've inspired me today to get back to doing some more lives. So thank you.
Come back and join us soon.
Yeah, will do.
Thank you so much, and we will catch
Thank
up
you,
in
Claire.
DMs and things as well. Take care. It's been really, really lovely. Thank you very
Really
much.
great. Speak to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Oh my goodness, how fabulous was that? Thank you so much, Ness, for joining us. That was incredible. What a woman, honestly, an incredible lady. Do make sure you go and follow her, and you'll find out even more about how fabulous Nesh is. And then, as she says, she's going to be on Lorraine tomorrow doing her modelling as well. So thank you so much to everyone that's joined us. It's been an absolute joy talking with Nesh, as always, and I promise not to leave it so long until we catch up with her again. But yeah, in the meantime, take care, have a really good afternoon, and let me know what you're doing with your power of an hour, because I've got a lot to catch up on too. So anyway, have the best afternoon, and we'll speak very soon. Bye bye.